As my son asked me a little bit over a decade ago, "Hey Dad, if schools are about teaching us to be ready for the future, where's a class about YouTube?" Well, as part of New Media and as part of Toon Tuesday, as we start exploring media a little bit differently, here is a look at YouTube as an important literacy to explore. So, YouTube as text. Viewing, thinking, creating, and consuming in a digital age. This media unit is designed to look at this media format critically, analyze, evaluate, and appreciate digital content. I'm saying imagine future learnings exploring the shares of Salish matter, much as we view Dickens. Is YouTube the novel, Instagram the poetry that'll be overanalyzed for years to come? Let's find out, because people are going to laugh at this. But if people in the Victorian era were told that we would be reading Charles Dickens for all sorts of extra meanings, they'd be wondering, why are you reading that penny author, the pulp fiction master, as great literature? You don't know what the future is going to reflect on. So, one of the things we need to understand about digital literacy today is where the primary sources of information are coming from. And YouTube has been one of the main leaders in this area. It has forced us to take a critical view because anybody can post content to YouTube, and we have to then build the skills to evaluate the credibility, the influence, and practice responsible online engagement when involving ourselves in YouTube, because it's easy to give comments into many of the videos, but we also want to be constructive in our comments and not just say, "I don't like you, I hate you," and worse, and instead want to look at this, how can we be creative in our expression and share our thinking back and forth? Because within this digital literacy, people are going to find their people of like minds. That includes people like Flat Earth and at SciManDan, who takes on the Flat Earthers and still is waiting for people to prove that space isn't real, because it is. So as a first activity, let's consider YouTube as a modern text. You can discover that YouTube can be analyzed like books, articles, or other text. There is even fan fiction on YouTube about YouTube creations. So first off, how do we tell the difference between what we like and don't like? What's the hook? All the different types of presentations have a different level of way they're going to get you in. If you want, start with taking a look at the way Mr. Beast tries to hook you in, and then find anybody else. Then we can also take a look, and I would encourage you to start creating a little journal and think about the ways visuals, sound, pacing, text work together. A great one I like to explore is the Y-Files, and the way it started from the first bunch of episodes to what it is now. It has changed and evolved tremendously, and is a great source of fun information. Can also start exploring concepts as YouTube as with its multimodal elements, how it blends visuals, audio, linguistic techniques, and ways to bring out the message. And as a little reflection for your teacher, share what makes a YouTube video powerful and trustworthy. Not just what's good and entertaining, but that you know that you can trust the information being presented. All right, activity 2, as you're going along and thumbing through the YouTube articles and trying to not get too frustrated by all the ads. I am old enough that I remember not only when YouTube was first introduced, that's true, but also when the first commercial came on, and even back then thinking, this might not be the way to go. Is it just me, or are we seeing even more ads that are popping up lately as well? Anyways, talk to your family member or your teacher about YouTube. Do you use it to learn new skills? Because you can, from everything from cooking to coding to crafts, and even things like, why do people spend so much time thinking about Romans? I know it's a weird one, but it's been thrown out there, and it's interesting to see how many people do think about ancient Rome and Romans way too often. Then there's the element about how can you show me that you can do a curricular related topic. For example, explore how volcanoes erupt. More important though, how can you scan the results critically before clicking? Don't always just click on the first one that pops up. Just like Google, sometimes the first ones that are being presented have paid to be in that location. How can you search through and find a trusted source beyond it coming from Bill Nye, because we can always trust him? Then we can always look at different frameworks to evaluate the work. A good one is the CRAP model: currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Is it up to date? What are the ways that you can tell if the person is speaking from a place of knowledge or the way that they wish things actually were as well? And then find out something that you have great knowledge on and check to see if those videos are relevant. Pick one of those activities and share it with your teacher. And we'll go on to lesson 3. Because YouTube is an entertainment and influential media as well. We don't just read books to get out information and solve critical thinking questions. We actually do read books for fun and pleasure. Likewise, we should be exploring YouTube just for fun and pleasure. Just not all the time, because you can doom scroll a long time and go in all sorts of different directions. You need to understand your algorithms and how the recommendations come to you. So one of the first thoughts is, hey, what shows up when you first log in? Does that make sense? Is it relevant to what you're actually logging on to if you don't know what you're doing? And then how does this affect what you think is important? Algorithms like to give you reinforcements on things that you believe. If for those people who falsely believe in a false earth, they are going to get more information about false earth, which is why YouTube has sometimes had to come up with warnings saying this video might not exactly be something that you should trust. But sometimes it makes mistakes because, we always make mistakes, whether we're human or whether we are AI. So you have to be critical and reflect what you're going into and seeing if things make sense and if you can compare it to others critically to see how much it should influence you, especially when we are dealing with nonfiction information. Because the power of algorithms is what you watch influences what you're going to be sent up later on. The algorithm processes what you're looking at, what you go through fast, what you go through slow, and personalizes that. So a good little writing or video for your teacher. Is personalization helpful or limiting? Can we maintain curiosity and diverse perspectives while enjoying recommended content? Does confirmation bias influence what you watch and why you'll swipe to the next one? Even in sports, I'm a big fan of the Seattle Mariners and Seattle Seahawks, but there are some entertaining podcasters who are big fans of the Green Bay Packers and Denver Broncos, and because they're so entertaining, I'll listen to them even though they're wrong in which team to support, but they're entertaining nonetheless. All right, lesson 4 is a rabbit hole project. That means it's time for you to create something. So consuming is valuable, but creating is always better. So can you plan and produce your own short video content? You do not need to upload this to YouTube, but what would your message be? Are you going to be someone who brings up comedic elements like I laugh at my own jokes, or are you wanting to be something more serious like at Technolandy and his education messages that are way too predictable? Can you build a little lesson to yourself how to frame your camera? Is it important for you to be centered? What do you see how other people present it? Does lighting matter? Does shadows matter? Can you prepare what you're going to talk about and not just go off the cuff and improv along the way? And are you aware of the privacy permissions and digital footprint? If you take a lot of music and throw up a music video, you might get your video blocked because you can't just use other people's creative content for your own use. So there's all these elements that we have to learn about. I cannot take somebody else's project and share it as mine because it might get taken down, or it might be demonetized because YouTube does pay based on advertising. And if you go viral, yes, you can make money on YouTube, which is why we want to explore these platforms, much as we promote school sports because somebody might make it as a professional athlete, and why we support drama clubs and musical clubs in case somebody ends up on TV, on the stage, on a movie, although it'll all be AI soon anyways, and playing musical instruments. Also possibly being taken over by AI as well. Let's not go that way yet. Let's focus in on how can you create original content and YouTube during this particular lesson. And what are some ways to get into? You can create using this way, or if you're not quite ready for that yet, look for videos that are not on YouTube that fit each of these, like on Instagram, on TikTok, on others that are other various forms of faster media shares as well. Is there something that's educational that can help you learn a concept or skill? Or can you teach us something? Can you do a creative skit? Can it be funny? Can it be dramatic? Can you do a review or a recommendation of a book, an app, a game, a local resource, some music? What are your thoughts on the new Taylor Swift album? Doesn't matter when you see this, it'll always be a new Taylor Swift album, and you can comment on it that way. Or are you going to do a public service announcement? We are about to get into our emergency preparedness week at the time of this recording. Are there things that you can do to help people get ready for fires, earthquakes, and other emergencies as well? And then if you have an opportunity, and enough people do this, share this with your teachers, share it with your families. You don't even need to do public posting. We can do all this just through Teams and share your content, get feedback, and see where you can take it. Because the next unit for this new media type of approach can be your own. Extend this to a longer project. Connect it to other curricular areas. Invite the community or the professionals to discuss media careers and where AI is going to lead us in this area as well. Take a look and explore, talk to your family, talk to your teachers, and see what you might do as your own original unit within New Media 11 or 12. This unit helps transform students from just being passive consumers of the social medias into empowered, critical, and creative digital citizens, starting the essential squints for navigating our media-rich world. Thank you for taking part in this New Media little breakdown. Toon Tuesday. Go read a comic book now.